Well, what if I told you there's a state whose unemployment rate is sitting at a rock bottom 2.5%? That's practically zero in economic terms. And the cost of living is 4% lower than the national average. I'm talking about North Dakota. I know, it might not be the first place that pops into your head. But check this out. Your housing and utility bills are, on average, nearly 20% cheaper than the rest of the country. And I'm going to break down the 10 most affordable places in North Dakota where that American dream is still very much alive. And I'm not going to just tell you a list. I'll cover what you need to know. The real cost of living, like current home prices and rent ranges, and the stuff you can't just search, like the actual vibe of a town, the good, the bad, and which places are really worth a look. So stick with me. You'll be surprised with how much is available in the heart of the prairie. Let's get into it. Starting with the border town, Wahpeton. Nestled in the southeastern corner of North Dakota, right on the Minnesota line where two waterways join to become the Red River. It's home of North Dakota State College of Science, top-ranked technical institute that serves as a steady economic and social cornerstone for the area. It's quiet, safe, and remarkably affordable small-town lifestyle. But its unique twin city relationship with Breckenridge, Minnesota, gives you the convenience of amenities from two states. Wahpeton is 22% less expensive to live in than the national average, and 7% less expensive than the average city in North Dakota. Homes typically sell for a median of about $230,000, while the median household income hovers around $58,000. And a one-bedroom apartment can be rented for just $638 to $1,155 per month. Public transportation doesn't exist, so owning a car is a necessity. The average one-way commute is under 12 minutes. Summers are warm and often humid, climbing into the 80s degrees Fahrenheit, while winters can be brutally cold, with temperatures hovering around zero. But the main drawbacks is that Minot processes sugar beets north of town, and any north wind usually blows the smell towards Wahpeton. Depending on the day and the wind, it was either the lagoon or the beet plant. The landfill is also in the northern part of town. The town's small size means limited job market beyond the college and a few local manufacturers, and a persistent risk of Red River flooding. Still, it's a solid option, with the larger hub of Fargo and its urban amenities just an hour's drive north. Next is the resilient college town, Grand Forks, the state's third-largest city on the eastern side of the state, on the banks of the Red River. Grand Forks is a decent place to raise a family, but it's also a classic college town, home to two major institutions, the Grand Forks Air Force Base and the University of North Dakota. UND is a great school, and hockey is the biggest show in town. People are extremely friendly, but the city quiets down a lot in the summer. It's probably the coldest town in the lower 48 states. You can get anywhere in town in 10 minutes, so that's pretty nice. Lots of chain restaurants, but the food scene has been getting better in the last decade. There's not a ton to do besides bar hop, but the cost of living index is 23% less expensive than the national average and 8% less expensive to live in than the state. Housing is affordable compared to larger U.S. cities. The median home price is $274,000 to $361,000, with a median household income of $63,000. One-bedroom rentals run a reasonable $850 to $1,200, and the overall cost of living is roughly 10% lower than the national average. Daily life is convenient, as the essential big-box retailers line the bustling 32nd Avenue corridor. That's the hotspot for locals and also for people from Canada. What truly sets Grand Forks apart is its remarkable tale of perseverance. After a catastrophic flood and fire in 1997, they rebuilt the downtown and infrastructure from the ground up. Thanks to the post-flood reconstruction, the city's infrastructure is modern and efficient, and the city's area transit bus system offers public transportation. Locals say it's pretty boring even by North Dakota standards. The biggest con is the harsh climate, long frigid winters and brief warm summers. Next one is the Red River Valley gem, Grafton. If you're after the cheapest possible cost of living paired with a tranquil country setting, look no further than Grafton. Grafton delivers a laid-back, slower rhythm of life. Known for its deep agricultural roots and a picturesque, historic brick-paved downtown, Grafton epitomizes the classic small-town American vibe of roughly 4,100 residents, meaning employment options are scarce, revolving mainly around farming and a major state facility. It has an exceptional school system, but services are limited, and the town's isolation means there's no public transit, so owning a car is essential. According to Best Places, the cost of living index is 87.6, which is 12.4% lower than the national average of 100. Home prices can dip under an astonishing $170,000 to $215,000, and the median household income of $60,000, with one-bedroom rentals ranging from $600 to $900. Grafton has a bunch of beautifully restored 100-year-old homes. All the houses and lawns are well kept, so check that out if you can find them on the market. The climate: winters are harsh, and spring is notoriously fickle, often giving way to a pseudo-spring in March before more snow arrives. For shopping, Grand Forks is about a 45-minute drive south and serves as the primary hub. Our number 7 spot takes us to southwestern North Dakota and the Western Gateway, Dickinson, the rugged gateway to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. But the city's contemporary identity was shaped by the Bakken oil surge, and its main attraction continues to be the promise of high pay and a low-cost lifestyle. It's actually a pretty cool town. Everything is affordable, and the people are really nice, but a little different socially. It is very safe, with plenty of housing. The median household income sits at a robust $82,000, comfortably supporting a median home price of $300,000 to $340,000. Renting is averaging about $977 to $1,400. Overall, the cost of living is roughly 19% lower than the national average, and according to recent data from Best Places, Dickinson has a cost of living index score of 79.4. Though the job market remains strong, it can ebb and flow with oil prices, and owning a car is essential because public transit is scarce. Living in Dickinson is down-to-earth and community-focused, though it isn't typically billed as a thrill-seeker's haven. The town has all the major big-box retailers you'd expect, while more niche shopping requires a roughly 90-minute drive to Bismarck. Still, for a city its size, the amenities are impressive. A top-notch community center with a pool and water park, a local baseball club, rodeos, and even a surprising Caribbean eatery. The biggest draw for many residents is the unrivaled access to the outdoors, just 30 minutes to Theodore Roosevelt National Park, an hour to Lake Sakakawea. While winters receive less snow than eastern North Dakota, can plunge into severe sub-zero cold snaps, and summers may swing from intense heat to severe thunderstorms. Next one is the outdoor paradise, Devil's Lake. In the northeastern corner of the state sits a town whose entire identity revolves around the huge, notoriously shifting lake that lends it its name, Devil's Lake. Known across the country as the perch capital of the world, the community's economy and way of life is tightly linked to its premier fishing scene. Life in Devil's Lake is self-contained and community-centric. The town boasts surprisingly solid amenities for its size, including a brand new brewery, popular local eateries such as Pros and Charas, and an outstanding high school career and technology center that delivers first-rate vocational training. Cost of living in Devil's Lake is 19% less expensive than the national average, and according to Best Places, the cost of living index is 80.8. The median home price hovers around $240,000 to $277,000, which sits on the high end for a small North Dakota community, but the cost of living is low, with a median household income of $43,000, and the average rent is $1,000. The job market can be seasonal and isn't especially varied, yet residents say there's plenty of work for those who seek it. And the bitter northern winter is a state hobby, but newcomers should be ready for deep cold and heavy snowfall. While the town is compact enough to get around on foot in the summer, a car becomes essential for winter travel and for reaching the larger nearby cities of Grand Forks and Minot for major shopping. At number 5, we have not a destination town, but it's quiet and pleasant, Bismarck. Nestled amid the rolling hills beside the mighty Missouri River, it's pristine, well-kept riverside capital that sits at the state's core. This is its towering Capitol building and its status as a hub for government, and feels more settled than the oil-rich towns to the west, yet still more close to the state's cowboy roots than the agricultural communities of the east. I like it. It's family-oriented, got good schools for the most part, some nice parks and walking trails, and a good portion of Bismarck feels like a small town that goes on and on. Cost of living is 16% less expensive than the national average. According to PayScale, it's 10% lower, and gets a Best Places Cost of Living Index of 95.2. The median household income sits at a solid $81,000, supporting a median home price of $340,000 to $370,000, the highest on our list, yet still within reach. Housing costs are steep, and property taxes are high and climbing sharply each year. Relocating outside the city can ease that burden, though the upfront expense is greater. Apartment rents are generally lofty, and a one-bedroom rental typically runs between $900 to $1,150. Life in Bismarck offers a high quality of existence for outdoor enthusiasts, with ample parks, trails, and superb river recreation. The non-winter months are gorgeous, with late summer sunsets that linger well into the evening. But the city's biggest con is its deep isolation. The nearest larger metropolis, Fargo, is a 3-hour drive away, and Bismarck is a really nice place if you are looking for a peaceful life, because everyone is united against a common enemy: North Dakota winters. Plus, the weather means it's very much a car city. Next one is, on the far west frontier, right at the Montana line, sits Williston, the unmistakable heart of the Bakken oil surge, and a town built on big stakes and big returns, meaning big earning potential. Oil and gas workers can pull in eye-popping salaries, but that's a tough job. Cost of living in Williston is 7% less expensive than the national average, and Best Places Cost of Living Index is 93.3. The average household income stays the highest in the state, from $84,000 to $91,000, which underpins a median home price hovering around $366,000 to $395,000. Rent has settled to a more modest $1,100 to $1,365. But, as I promised in the intro, I will tell you the cons. Well, Williston was voted the most hated town in North Dakota and the third rudest. And the school district is a dumpster fire. Also, crime is 25% higher than the national average, and it wrestles with the fallout from its swift, unplanned expansion. The streets are a notable pain point, often cracked and worn from heavy semi-truck traffic they weren't designed for. The only two positives that I can think of is the good pay and the pretty good bakery downtown. At number 3, we land in the Magic City, Minot. If you want a safe, quiet place to do some thinking, Minot is the place. Located in the state's central region, its identity is inextricably linked to the Minot Air Force Base. This military presence means a stable, patriotic, and family-oriented community. It's pleasant enough, some very good restaurants, very, very conservative. While you won't find high-end luxury retailers, the city has all the necessary big-box stores in its downtown Main Street. The economy is robust, with a median household income of around $78,000. The cost of living is a major draw, sitting 10.6% under the national average for the annual average for 2024. And according to Best Places, the cost of living index is 85.1. PayScale says it's 11% lower. While the median home price is at $300,000 and the average rent is $1,045 to $1,113, the areas surrounding the edge of Minot have modern houses and apartments that are considered safe and good to live in. Generally, the more you can get outside, the better, because you need to stockpile happiness for January and February, when it is usually somewhere between dangerously and intolerably cold, long, bitter winters. The reward for enduring the cold is a season of warm, moderately dry summers, perfectly timed for the annual North Dakota State Fair, held right in the city. For outdoor escapes, the vast Lake Sakakawea and the beautiful Lake Metagoshi are both just a 90-minute drive away. If you're looking for anything that feels remotely cosmopolitan, well, just no. But easy drives to Regina and Bismarck if you want a bigger city experience. Next one is the Buffalo City, Jamestown. Nestled in the heart of the state, steeped in Western folklore, it is best known for its towering world's largest buffalo statue, and as the birthplace of famed frontier novelist Louis L'Amour. It's a pretty great mid-sized town, mid-sized compared to others in North Dakota. Life here moves at a relaxed tempo, perfect for those who enjoy creating their own pastimes and joining local clubs. Financially, the upside is striking. Overall living expenses are more than 16% lower than the national average, allowing residents to stretch their dollars. The cost of living index is 81.7. Based on Economic Research Institute, the cost of living is 16% less expensive than the national average, and according to Best Places, the cost of living score of 80.1. The median home price sits at just $190,000 to $270,000, and the area's median household income is roughly $55,000, especially since a one-bedroom apartment typically rents for only $900, but rent can rise to $1,450. Employment is steady, though not especially varied. The strongest jobs are in healthcare at the state hospital and at the University of Jamestown, and in the surrounding agricultural and transportation sectors. The trade-offs are amenities and entertainment is limited, and winters are long, bitterly cold, and relentless. It's also fairly isolated. There's no public transit, so a car is essential. That very isolation becomes an asset, as the town sits almost equidistant between Fargo and Bismarck, offering a centrally located, peaceful base just a 90-minute drive from the state's largest urban centers. Top of the list is the sweet spot between a big metro and a small town, Fargo. The biggest and most energetic city in North Dakota sits on the state's eastern edge along the Red River. It's home to North Dakota State University and a sizable Microsoft campus, giving the city a lively, youthful, and surprisingly forward-thinking atmosphere. Fargo has a much better downtown, better infrastructure, and has more to do. It's a better city in many respects. The city feels safe, large enough to offer plenty of activities, yet small enough to navigate easily with ample parking. Still small enough you can drive anywhere in 15 minutes. Traffic isn't usually an issue. Cost of living is better than the Twin Cities, but this area is becoming Twin Cities light, like Busch Light beer. It's a rare combination of a robust, tech-savvy economy, all while staying very affordable. The median home values hover around $330,000 to $384,000, backed by a solid median household income of roughly $76,000 and an okay state income tax, and typically rents for $970 to $1,150. Based on Economic Research Institute, Fargo is 15% less expensive than the national average, and according to PayScale, it's 6% lower. Best Places' cost of living index is 90.6. Winter is a physical and mental challenge. Although the MAT bus system runs reliably, owning a car is essentially required. Waiting for a bus in winter isn't realistic. Fargo delivers an outstanding quality of life, with Lakes of Minnesota just a 45-minute drive away and larger hubs like Minneapolis and Winnipeg within easy reach for weekend trips. But the question remains, could you bear a North Dakota winter for a shot at the American dream? Let me know in the comments which of these places surprised you the most. If you found this guide useful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more in-depth looks at affordable living. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the Peace Garden State.